Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Marnian. I'm a Senior Global Education Advisor here at OGE. So I'm going to basically go through what it's like and the study abroad options in the UK and Ireland. If you have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A function, and we will get to as many as humanly possible at the end of the session. So this is a map of all the programs that we have in the UK and in Ireland. As you can see, they're pretty spread out, and there are programs in any and every type of location, from large cities to small cities to college towns and everything in between. So there's something a little bit for everybody. And in the UK, we are in all 4 home countries, so England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So there really is something for everybody. So what are the hallmarks of programs in the UK and Ireland? The big one is that almost all programs are comprehensive universities. What this means is that they teach almost all subjects. Not everybody teaches everything, but for the most part, they teach most subjects that you would find here at Georgetown. There are, of course, exceptions to the rule. And most, if not all, majors can find a program that suits their academic needs. I have yet to meet a major with the right amount of planning who couldn't study abroad. Okay, I've had neuroscience students, human science students, chemistry majors, physics, government, English, pretty much everybody, nurses. So there's definitely a program that can fit every academic need. What we can't necessarily guarantee, though, is that, fit an academic need in a certain location. As long as you're flexible as in what type of location, then we can definitely find a place that fits your needs. You have the ability to take classes that you can't find at Georgetown. Things like fashion, development studies, marine biology, bagpiping. All of these are options at some of our partner institutions, and these are classes you can take because you do have the ability to find a class that just meets a personal interest that maybe you can't find at Georgetown. Classes can count for major, minor, core, or elective requirements. So you can take a little bit of everything and mix and match because most universities allow you to jump departments with relative ease. Again, there are some exceptions, but this is generally the case. But the big hallmark is that you're living the life of a local student. And as much as humanly possible, these universities are going to treat you like a regular student. So you're going to live in the university residence halls. You're going to attend regular university classes alongside degree-seeking students. You're going to be living with regular students and taught by normal university faculty members. You also have the ability to join the student union. So student union is a physical space, but it's also the organization that governs all the clubs, societies, sports teams, which you have full access to. And we've had students take advantage of this, and we do encourage you to take advantage of this because it's the best way to get involved with university life. So if you wanted to play sport team for the university, you can. There's no NCAA in the UK or Ireland. College sports isn't a big deal over there. So we've had students play basketball or rowing or field hockey, for example. But at the same time, we've also had students join choirs. I think we had a student in the past join a juggling society. So whatever the student union offers, you do have the ability to join. So the next couple of slides, we're going to walk you through some of the program offerings that we have. So the first one I mentioned is when I said almost all universities programs that we have are universities. Well, this one's the one exception. So this is Advanced Studies in England, which is located in Bath in Somerset, so Western England. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's famous for its Roman ruins and Georgian architecture and its connection with Jane Austen. This is an area studies program for American students that is small by nature. It's that way on purpose. But there are internship and tutorial options. Tutorial, you would take a class one-on-one with an Oxford professor because they have a long-standing relationship with University College Oxford, as well as potentially an internship. Past internship options include the constituency office for the local member of parliament, the Jane Austen Center, and the Roman Baths. But that's just to name a few. There are a lot of different options out there. Next, we have the Queen's University in Belfast, Northern Ireland. Belfast is the largest city in Northern Ireland, and while it's politically and economically part of the UK, it is a culturally Irish city. So you do tend to get the best of both worlds. The university is located right next to the botanical gardens in the heart of the city. Belfast is statistically one of the safest cities in the UK, but it is a post-conflict society. So it really is fascinating to see that dichotomy just walking around the streets every day. This is one of our best programs for STEM students, but it's also famous for its program in drama and film studies, as well as conflict studies. So the University of Sussex is in England. It's located in Falmer, about 5 kilometers outside the city of Brighton. Brighton's about 60 kilometers south of London. So to give you an idea, it's right on the English Channel, but it's actually closer to Gatwick Airport than London is. It is a 200-acre campus that backs into South Downs National Park, and this tends to be a program for students who want to be near London, but not in it. It's a great program for American studies, but the big thing about the University of Sussex is it has the #1 development studies program in the world. So they beat Harvard. So if you're interested in any type of development studies program, there are a lot of classes in there that would really be a good fit for you that you can't find here at Georgetown. So the University of Bristol is in Western England. So this is the economic and cultural hub of the West Country. It's about 145 miles due west of London, pretty much right off the Severn watershed. The university is in the Clifton neighborhood, about a 15-minute walk from the city center. It's famous for its street art scene, as the street artist Banksy is from Bristol. And its hot air ballooning festival, its film festivals, so there are a lot of festivals in the city. It's also almost always ranked the UK's #1 city to live in. It's always one of the top UK universities. It's really well known for social policy, sociology, and econ. Just to give you an idea, its social policy department is ranked second only to Cambridge. Speaking of Cambridge, we work with Pembroke College, which is one of the oldest and largest of the constituent colleges of the University of Cambridge. It was founded in 1347. The big difference here is this is a tutorial type system. So you are one-on-one with your faculty members at the college. So this is a great program for students who are doing a lot of independent research, writing, a lot of reading. This is a full year program only because of how the university is set up, and it is a competitive application process. So the University of Kent is the other program that students find popular because it is near London but not in it. So it's about 50 kilometers southeast of London in just outside of the city of Canterbury. So it's a 350-acre campus overlooking Canterbury Cathedral, which is one of the most well-known religious houses of worship in the world. The city itself is a mix of a city and a college town, but it is a mix of the medieval and the modern. So you still have those cobblestone streets and a lot of the old buildings. Easy access to outdoor parks and trails, and as they call the area the Garden of England. So Cardiff University is the premier university in Wales, located in the heart of Cardiff. It is a bilingual city, but there is no expectation that you have any previous knowledge of Welsh or that you learn Welsh. Although if you want to learn Welsh while you're there, you can, but you will come into contact with it frequently, as all road signs and public announcements are made in both languages. The one highlight about Cardiff is that it has the best communications program in the UK, which is especially the case for journalism students, as they have partnered up with BBC Wales. So if you're interested in really learning about media, communication, journalism, among other things, this would be a fantastic program. Trinity College is the oldest university in the Republic of Ireland, and it's located in central Dublin. It's of course famous for its library and the Book of Kells. This is a very strong university in the humanities and social sciences. It's also good for science students if you're going for the full year. So if you're only going for semester, for science students, this program can get a little tricky. But University College Dublin is the most comprehensive and the largest university in the Republic. And this is actually probably also the most popular program in Ireland for students. It's located in Belfield neighborhood in Dublin, about 5 kilometers south of the city center. And the reason for that is it's about a 500-acre campus, so it just wouldn't fit downtown. To get from downtown Dublin to Belfield, it'll take you about a half an hour by bus. Students can enroll in one of 3 programs: arts, science, or business. So again, this is another really great program for STEM students. And we have had a lot of STEM students on this program. The University of Edinburgh is probably one of our most popular programs in the UK and Ireland for students. It is located in the heart of Edinburgh, which has been the Scottish capital since the medieval period. Campus mostly surrounds George Square, which is about 1 kilometer south of the Royal Mile, so one of the most famous streets in all of the UK, and it's also near Holyrood Park. And this again is a comprehensive university. This is also tends to be very popular for students in the MSB. So the National University of Ireland is in Galway, so on the west coast of Ireland. This is a much more traditionally Irish city. It's nicknamed the cultural capital of Ireland because it's one of the few cities in Ireland where you will hear the Irish language on the streets. So it is also right on the coast and a lot of access to outdoors, as campus is only about a 15-minute walk from the city center. And because it's also right on the coast, that's why it's not that uncommon that our students like to join the sailing team. So the University of Glasgow is located in the heart of Glasgow in the Gitmore Hill neighborhood, so tucked into the western end. It's kind of like where Georgetown is in Washington, D.C. It's the largest city in Scotland, and it's a much more traditionally Scottish city, and all of Scotland's artistic institutions are actually in Glasgow. And this is the program where students have the option of taking a class at the Glasgow School of Art or bagpiping at the National Bagpiping Centre. There is no prerequisite that you have to have any experience with bagpiping if you want to take that class, but it is an option for you, and usually there's at least one student who takes them up on that every semester. City University of London is the business school. So this is MSB only, and that's mainly because non-business coursework here is severely limited. So the university is part of the University of London. It's in Islington, which is residential, but it's right near the edge of the financial district in London. King's College is on the Strand. This is a more comprehensive university. It's famed for its war studies department. So this tends to be very popular with security studies students in the SFS and with government majors, though to be fair, it doesn't teach traditional political science. Coursework in art history, psychology, business, and economics are also not available. The London School of Economics is probably one of the premier institutions in the world. It's in the Bloomsbury neighborhood in central London. This is a full year only program just because LSE doesn't have semesters. But it is a good fit for students who are interested in quantitative subjects, so economics, mathematics, but it's also really good for political science, social history, things like that. So Queen Mary, University of London, is our newest partner in London. They're in the East End, in the Mile End neighborhood. So they are right on Regent's Canal, located in the heart of the East End, and this area has been massively redeveloped in the last decade or so because a lot of the Olympic events from the 2012 Games were held in the East End. Unlike our other partners in London, this is a residential campus and the university teaches most subjects. So the School of Oriental and African Studies is in Bloomsbury near UCL and LSE. Again, it teaches most major subjects, but this is very regionally focused. So all of their coursework focuses on African or Asian studies. So if that's something you're interested in really delving deep into and various different aspects of African or Asian studies, this is really a great program. University College London is the oldest and largest constituent university of the University of London. It's again up in Bloomsbury, and it's a very decentralized university that is very departmental focused. So this is for students who are really looking to really focus on major and minor requirements. So the University of Manchester is located in the heart of Manchester, which is one of the UK's largest cities. It also has one of the largest student populations in Western Europe. The university has its own museum, art gallery, and university press. And of course, if you happen to be a fan of the UK Premier League, two of the best teams in the league happen to be based in Manchester. So this is definitely a very student-friendly setting. East Anglia is in Norwich, so 130 miles northeast of London. It has state-of-the-art facilities, including an arts gallery and sportsplex. It also has one of the best creative writing programs in the UK. So if you're interested in drama, creative writing, this is a fantastic program. And if you've ever seen a movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, campus might look familiar. We also work with the University of Oxford, which is an amalgamation of 32 autonomous colleges, and we work with 5 of them. So Pembroke, Mansfield, St. Catherine's, St. Peter's, and St. Edmund's Hall. Again, this is full year only, just because of the structure of the university, and the application process is competitive. So again, this is a program that's really great for students who are interested in doing a lot of independent reading, research, and a lot of writing. So the University of St. Andrews was founded in 1415. So it's the oldest and most prestigious university in Scotland. It's located in St. Andrews, which is in Fife, about 55 kilometers northeast of Edinburgh. It's famous for the university, obviously, but the town is, of course, home to one of the most famous golf courses in the world. And it does tend to be a tradition that students who attend the University of St. Andrews do tend to take golf lessons. It is consistently ranked one of the best universities in the UK, and some of their departments are ranked higher than Oxford and Cambridge. So this is a really great program for students who are interested in being in that college town in a really high academic environment. And lastly, the University of Stirling, which is located on the 350 A3 estate outside the city of Stirling in central Scotland. And Stirling is known as the gateway to the Highlands. It's also home to Stirling Castle and a lot of the famous events of Scottish history, including, William Wallace, Robert the Bruce, and Mary Queen of Scots. This is, again, another great program for students who wish to be outdoors, as there are a lot of hiking trails and the Highlands are within easy reach of the city. So those are all of our programs. Just to circle back for some of the requirements and finances. So GPA requirements vary by program. For the most part, it's 3.0, but some are higher. And that is clearly marked on the website, so you can kind of see what the requirements are when you're looking at a program. Obviously, Oxford and Cambridge are going to be higher, but some other are higher as well. We're looking for good academic and disciplinary record. So you want to make sure that you're in good standing with both Student Affairs and the Conduct Office when you are applying for study abroad. Semester and full year tuition costs are the same for all programs. So no matter where you study, you're going to be paying Georgetown tuition as if you are still here. The main difference is going to be cost of living, because housing and cost of living varies widely from city to city. Just to give you an idea, London, for example, has one of the highest costs of living in Europe. On the other end of the spectrum, cities like Belfast and Cardiff and Glasgow have very low cost of living, but you still have all the major amenities of living in a city. So you'll find the budgets on each individual webpage, and we're very transparent, and we tend to go on the high side of average when looking at what the costs are. So that's something you want to double check to see what you can expect in terms of finances. Georgetown financial aid is available. Whatever your financial aid is, travels with you. So if you have financial aid, you definitely want to talk to your financial aid counselor and give them a heads up of what your plans are. There are scholarships available. The main one is the Benjamin Gilman Scholarship. So that's, if you have a Pell Grant, you're definitely eligible for that. Other scholarships, you can look to see if there's any being awarded by the British Council. So there are a lot of those available as well. So for more information, OGE website and My GE Abroad have the most up-to-date information, and we've linked on our websites for each program to everything we can think of, to the course catalog, the housing office, the student union, and even in most places, the tourist office, so you can get a feel for the city and what the location's like. Attend a Study Abroad 101 session, meet with me, talk to your academic deans and faculty, just bring the course catalog and see what classes match what you can take. Read our student blog and follow us on social media. Okay, so that's the end of the main presentation. If there are any questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A.
Hi, this is Susan. I am moderating, so I'll be helping share your questions with Sarah. Sarah, we already have a few questions. A couple about, sorry, I have a couple about Oxford and Cambridge. What is the application process like, and can you share some kind of difference in choosing between them?
Sure. So Oxford and Cambridge have a similar educational style, but the main difference between the two, besides obviously location, is coursework availability. There are some subjects that Oxford teaches that Cambridge doesn't, and vice versa. We also recommend that students in a traditional degree program go for Oxford. So if you're doing politics and economics, so if what you're studying at Georgetown falls into a traditional Oxford degree, we recommend that you apply to Oxford. If you have an unusual degree combination, say English and economics, that's when we would recommend that you apply to Cambridge. Just because Cambridge is able to accommodate, not fitting into a degree program where that's a little bit harder to do in Oxford. As for the application process, they're slightly different. For the most part, we're looking for strong letters of recommendation for both. We're looking for, strong, GPA and not just cumulative, but strong GPA in what you're studying, so what your majors are. The main difference between the two is for Oxford, you're writing a research proposal that will kind of outline what you plan to study and how you plan to study it at Oxford. But if you're applying to Cambridge, you're writing a personal statement. And again, that's just because you don't necessarily need to be part of a specific degree program.
Great. A couple of questions about the summer programs. So most of your overview is about semester opportunities. Can you mention summer programs in the region and how those might look different from semester?
Sure. So there are two Georgetown-sponsored programs during the summer. So the first one is Shakespeare and Performance, which is a 2-week program that focuses on, obviously, Shakespeare. So it's an English class taught by Professor Barnett and Professor Collins in the English department, and that's a 2-week program on a theme. The other is MSB's program at Oxford, which I believe last time I checked is 6 weeks, 4 or 6 weeks long. And so these are programs that are taught by Georgetown faculty. And the other major difference is for a Georgetown summer program, those are Georgetown classes, so they count towards your GPA. Whereas for semester programs in the UK and Ireland, these do not count towards your GPA. So it's just credit total and course total, though they will be on your Georgetown transcript. So I don't advise for summer programs in the UK. So if you do have any questions, you want to talk to my colleague, Greg, and he should be able to answer all your questions about the summer.
Thank you, Sarah. Can you comment on opportunities for extracurricular activities and student clubs and organizations?
Sure. So most in British or Irish university life, that's done through the student union. And for all the programs where we've linked to the university student union, so all that information's online. We have had students take advantage of the student unions. Like I said, there's no NCAA in the UK, so if you wanted to join a sports team, you could. I had a student who was at LSE for the year, join the rowing team, and she rowed in the Royal Henley Regatta, which is a big deal in the rowing community. I had a student who joined the basketball team at Cardiff and was telling me about, prepping for his game against arch rival Swansea. I had a student join the trampolining team. She had never been on a trampolining team before, but sounded like fun. And we've had, like I said, choirs, juggling societies. I think one person joined a K-pop dance society once. So you have a lot of different opportunities to get involved with university life through the student union. And usually on your site, during your orientation, they bring in a representative of the student union. So that person will usually go and talk to you about opportunities available, how to get involved. It's a lot easier to get involved with various different clubs and societies than you might find here at Georgetown. So there's something really for everybody.
Very fun. A two-part question here. Can you talk about what course load looks like? And also, is there time for jobs or internships in addition to classes? And are there opportunities for jobs or internships?
Okay. In terms of course load, generally speaking, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 classes, depending on where you go. St. Andrews, it could be 2. And you take 2 tutorials per term at Oxford and Cambridge. At most of the universities, you're taking 3. And in a lot of the London schools, and I know the University of Sussex, you're taking 4. It's a very different academic environment than you'd find here at Georgetown, and there's a lot more value placed on independent self-direction and self-study. So you're in class less, you're writing less, you're assessed less, but you're reading more. So it's just a different environment, and professors are going to be a little bit more hands-off than you're used to. But even though, for example, you're only taking 3 classes, that's still full-time, and so you're going to come back with 15 credits, because full-time there equals full-time here. In terms of a job or internship, if you're there for the full academic year, your visa will allow you to find a job or have an internship. However, if you're only in the UK for a semester, under the immigration status you'll have, you're actually not allowed to work. And an unpaid internship under British labor laws is considered working. So it's actually not possible. The exception here is, of course, ASE, because they do have an internship program as part of their offerings. So students who are participating on that program can have an internship as long as they go through the credit-bearing internship option, so they couldn't necessarily find one on their own. But full-year students, it's a possibility, but if you're only there for a semester, unfortunately, you can't.
And then outside the classroom, fun question, do you find that students studying on these programs are able to visit countries or locations outside of the UK, or do they really not have the time or resources to do that?
Students do travel. Again, you're going to be in class less than you would be in Georgetown, so students do travel because a lot of major cities in the UK have airports. But a lot of students also take advantage of the fact that the rail system in the UK is fantastic. And the UK geographically is smaller than people think. So going, for example, from Glasgow to London is only 4.5 hours by train. So that's from going from DC to New York. It's the same thing with Ireland. You know, students, a lot of, Ryanair is based out of Dublin Airport. So students are able to travel a lot. And again, they take advantage of the really good train system. So for example, Dublin to Galway, which are on opposite ends of the country, that's only a 2.5 hour train ride. So students do tend to explore their areas, and they do have time. You're certainly not going to be as programmed as you are at Georgetown. So you will have time to join a club or society, just walk around, explore your country or your city. And we do recommend that you don't jet off to a new country every weekend, that you do stay in and about the area to really get to know your location. But yeah, travel opportunities are definitely available, and there is time to do it.
Thank you. Question about housing. What kind of housing is it? What does that look like? Do students like it?
For the most part, you're living in university residence halls, and for the most part, these are singles. So you are in single rooms that are come together for a common area kitchen. So there's usually about, 5 to 8 students in a flat. And like I said, for these comprehensive universities, you're going to be, as much as humanly possible, living with degree-seeking students. So they don't put all the study abroad students together. For most universities, though, the housing is not directly next to the academic buildings, but for the most part, it's within walking distance. The only place where you really need to be expected to commute is if you're in London. And that's just because housing is spread throughout the city. So you do need to be prepared to potentially travel up to 45 minutes via the underground to get from your residence hall to the academic buildings. Most residence halls are what we call self-catered, so there's no meal plan involved, and that's usually what people pick. A lot of universities do have what they call catered halls, which are, you know, more traditional dormitory style halls where there is a meal hall or a cafeteria attached, but it's not like Leo's where you can just walk in at any time. There are set meal hours. Students do like it, living in the residence halls, because while they have the privacy of a single room, it does help them get to know people. And, you know, if you're brand new to a location and you're brand new to university, it's great to just ask one of your flatmates who's more familiar with the area, hey, what's this like? Or do you have any restaurant recommendations? Or how do I get from here to here? Or, you know, do you have any recommendations for classes? And so students really do like it because there's this built-in kind of community.
That's all of our posted questions. Unless anybody has more, please feel free. Thanks, Sarah.
All right. So it doesn't look like there are any other questions, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to answer anything I can.